Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at upsetting tales from the Domoverse and beyond. This amazing sci-fi horror anthology. I cannot wait to share it with you. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Okay, so one of the joys of doing my channel is when people send me their books to review, and I think it's very flattering that people think enough of my opinion or my reviews or my channel or whatever to send me their own work. And I'm always happy to receive it. So never hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always happy to do it, especially when it's something as amazing as this. This is Mark Domowicz, Upsetting. This is like a thick ass book. It's like 130 pages. It's an anthology. It's all black and white, sequential storytelling, very much in the vein of like creepy or eerie. I put it like alongside heavy metal. It's kind of horror meets sci-fi with, like cautionary tale kind of thing. This is a lot to do with like AI and the war of transhumanism. So that's very cool. So I have to say that the odd thing about this book is this is the first book that this guy has ever done, Mark. It says issue number 77. It's kind of like an April Fool's joke in a way. Like, this is his big homage. Like, so every ad in here is fake, every back issue, every, like, how to get a subscription. He's not even selling this. He did it just for fun. However, it has a price tag. It has an ISBN number. I mean, it looks too legit to quit. If you found this, like, in a magazine box at a comic book store, there's nothing to indicate that this isn't, like, the actual 77th issue of this anthology. It's very crazy. Great cover, by the way. Also interesting to note is this is the first book this guy, Mark, has ever made. His first attempt at storytelling. He kind of wanted to do it and just, like, bit the bullet and did it. And did it in a big, huge way. This is, like, very crazy. It's mostly done by him. He has, like, a writer on one of the stories. But it is, like, so cool. I mean, as you can see, like, the titles are great. I mean, it looks just like so on point. It just looks like easily you wouldn't even blink or think that this was like some one-man show, fan-made comic book, like sitting on the shelves. Like, it is so good. I love it. But then, like, when you get into it, editor-in-chief, Mark F. Domowicz, associate editor, Mark Domowicz, cover, Mark Domowicz, front piece, Mark Domowicz. Like, oh, this is a one-man show. I mean, he's got a fake letters page. I can't even imagine the amount of work that went into this. Like, it is so crazy. So, like I said, it's sort of like like a heavy metal, kind of eerie, like, story. What I found interesting, okay, so the art is pretty basic in the beginning. I think the strength of Mark's art is definitely his storytelling. I very much thought of storyboards as I was reading this. He's definitely a great writer. The story reads very well. It has, like, the structure, like, I don't know, like, very good writing. Like, you would never guess that this is an amateur writing. Like, I don't see any of the tropes or, like, sort of pratfalls that happen to, like, newbie writers. Like, the dialogue isn't stilted. I think the only weakness here is the art in a way, and it does get better, like, throughout. The only problem is it stands out a little bit as amateurish or sort of like a homemade, just because of the fact that, like, it's not a ton of variation in line weight. I think the stark whiteness of the pages sort of gives it a little bit of that homemade look. And there could be, like, more grays or variation in color. It could be a little clearer. Other than that, I think it's great. Like, the storytelling is so good. Like, these could easily be storyboards. Like, if you drop this, if I were, like, a hiring storyboard artist and you just handed me this book, I would hire you to do storyboards 100%. Like, the fundamentals of storytelling are all here. The story is so tight and sound. The dialogue and like wording is compelling. Like, and not to knock, like, Marty Keene, I review often, an underground cartoonist on my channel, and his style is kind of crude in a way, but he's adding like a lot more textures and things to give it a little more depth. I think that's what it's lacking, is a little depth. Like, if this were to be colored, I think it would be totally fine. But since it's black and white, it just needs a little bit more polish. Other than that, like, that's all I'm gonna say, because it's like really great. Like, I was totally engrossed, engaged. Like, it just reels you in. It takes place in the future. This bounty hunter is going on this, dangerous scavenger hunt. It reads very well like a movie too. Like, honestly, like I say, like can't keep the storyboards notion out of my mind, because it's very cinematic. I have to say, it's very impressive that Mark even made this, let alone that it's done so well. Like, there's a craftsmanship here that you can see the work that went into this, the dedication. I mean, the sheer size of it alone is like ambitious enough, but then to put in all the fake ads and like this like flawless typesetting and like the fake letters page and all that stuff, like, it's kind of insane, to be honest with you. But it's really good. And it's interesting because he said he's like never written anything and done any storytelling in any format before. And I have to say, like, he just has a natural ability to tell a story. Like, I feel like the beats of the story are here. It flows nicely. Like, it's not confusing. It makes sense. There's payoff. You know what I mean? It's like, nothing stood out as far as like, oh, well, that was like, doesn't make sense or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's all cool. And I have to say, in a thought that I did have, I've been like, this is a huge book. It's starting out a little rudimentary, but it has to get better. Like, there's no way you can do this amount of work and not get better. Like, that's why, I mean, like, back in the, 70s and 80s, you saw a lot of, like, rough comic book artists just, like, with a major potential just explode over, like, even, like, within a year of just, like, doing consistent work. I forgot who said it, but somebody said that consistency is more important than speed. And that is the strength here. If there is a weakness in the execution as far as just like the, line weight and certain things like that, variance and things like that, the strength is the consistency, because, it has a consistent look throughout. And like I said, the storytelling is on point. There's a lot of great things in here, like good use of negative space and spotting of blacks. I just wish there was a little more depth to the art. I think that, like, had it been like on an off-white color, like maybe a peach or like a beige or like almost a newsprinty kind of color, it would have taken away from that starkness a little bit. But the good news is there's an art leap in the next story that we get to. I don't want to spoil this story, although the other weird thing is, and I think I mentioned, he did this just for fun. Like, this is not for sale. Limited copies. I feel blessed to have one. Thank you for thinking so much of me that you would send me one to, not even knowing if I would put it on my channel, but how could I not? Like, this is so amazing. Like, I am not gonna miss the opportunity to share this with the world, because you ain't gonna get a copy, chances are. Although I encourage you, Mark, I would send this to Image, I would send it to IDW. Like, I feel like there's something here. Like, there's definitely, this is like your calling card. Like, send this to Netflix. I don't know. Like, it's really good. Like, I'm very impressed by not only the dedication and the time that you put into this, but the actual talent that you have. So how do you like that? I think you're an amazing storyteller. I think this is super compelling. I think it's, like the eerie or the heavy metal or the creepy that is very like of now and Sign of the Times. And see how the art does get like super creepy and better. And like this is amazing. Like this panel alone, like, I don't know, this image needs to exist outside of my nightmares. Like, it is so cool. But yeah, like, potential is like such a strong word to use in describing this. There is major potential for greatness, and there's actual greatness here as well. So that's the good news. Like I said, I just really thought it just was done well. It was, I feel like you put in your research to sort of, it shows that this wasn't just like made up on the cuff or something. There's an actual story here that makes actual sense and is told in a very compelling way. And here we go to the next story. And this is very different. I love anthologies for this reason. Like, they take you to such different places. We go from, like, the horror of science and transhumanism to this sort of, tale of yesteryear. Like, obviously you can see, but it's kind of like this horror, like, legend at the same time. I also like the sort of, the typeface here and how it's kind of imperfect and it's got like little splotches and stuff. It just really added to it. And see how the grayness, like, doesn't there seem like such a like elevation in the art? And this is the same artist, but just the use of the toning and really like so good. Like this looks very, like, it's very much reminding me of like Fiona Staples on Saga or something like that. The storytelling is very compelling. The images are just beautiful. So, I don't know. I mean, like, some of these are just like, I love this panel right there. That is very cool. Like, the empathy that is evoked in that face is just like on point. And then it's creepy and gross and horrific. But then I love that too, like, great landscape. See this, I don't know. It just show. I don't know if you did this chronologically or how this happened or whatever. But it's nice to see someone take a chance and have it pay off, and also see like improvement within the project itself. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? But this, another strong panel. This story is just very, art-wise, it's super strong. Very great story. And then we end with this one. A story by Jason Block and Mark Domowicz. So this is, like, I think the only collaboration on the book. The rest is pretty much Mark on his own. And there's another evolution story. We're going back to, like, sort of a more simplistic style here that echoes, like, kind of the first story, with a lot less rendering and a great use of gray tones in here to, like, tell the story. Like, it just, like, did really well. And here we're tying in sort of, like, maybe religion and AI and, the sort of conflicts that happen there. So overall, like, there's a lot of great story variants. We get the science fiction story opening. We get sort of the campfire horror story in the middle, and then we get this, like, I don't know, religious whatever. I just really, like I said, this is a book I would never know existed had I not had a channel and someone felt compelled to send me their work. And I thank you, Mark. It is so amazing. It is so good. You say in the back, the only real page, explaining your whole crazy experiment here, that you feel compelled to want to move forward. And how could you not? Oh my goodness. Like, this is so good. Like, you must do more, and you are amazing. I would love to work with you, actually. I think you're, like, so talented. This is good. I cannot wait to see how you improve and grow and what you bring next. I encourage you, I don't know, have a Kickstarter or something, like, viewers, like, chime in. Wouldn't you love to see this book? Do you think this book is interesting? Don't you want it? Like, I don't know, I'll see if there's a website or something to reach Mark, and maybe you can nag him to make more comics. So, but anyway, that's what we looked at today. It's such a great book. Like I said, it's fan or just self-made, somebody doing it because they felt they had to. I feel like a lot of comic books are made like that, and I am so happy. Like, it speaks so much to the power of the art form, and this is a great book. This cover is awesome. This looks so cool. I'm gonna just like drop it in like some back issue bin somewhere and just create chaos. I don't know, just kidding. I'm never giving it up. 45 out of 100. So this is a labor of love, guys, and a true collector's item. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I'll bring you more later.